Good evening, ladies
Okay.
and gentlemen. Today we have a new session and a new guest that you are familiar with, Ms. Samya Taha, a Elementor 2022, and an alumni of Open, and also a graduate of an exchange program. Ms. Samya Taha is a teacher of English. She has a bachelor's degree from the Faculty of Education, Alexandria, Egypt. She's a Fulbright T alumnus and at Georgia State University. She has some post-graduation studies at the AUC. She is an IELTS member and a Arello Mentor 2022. Okay, Samia, you have the mic.
Thank you, Salwa. Good evening, dear all. I hope you're all okay. By the way, I'm not going to be just for long with you. We try to be light guests together, and we need all of us to have a happy weekend and to have a rest. By the end of this session, inshallah, all of you will be able to use AI tools in creating a lesson plan. We try to identify some links and websites for trying to facilitate presentation with each other. So how do you feel about preparing any lesson plan, dear? Whenever you hear this word, you have a lesson plan to prepare, how do you feel about it? You feel excited? Do you feel tired, something exhausted? You don't like it?
Please use the chat box to write your answers.
For me, I feel it's something awful. I don't like preparing a lesson plan. So I feel it's a very heavy task for me. I don't know what about you, but things are maybe better than before.
Concerning myself, I think the mental preparation is more difficult than the written work. I think
Yeah,
it
me
needs a
too.
lot of thinking, a lot of scenarios in your head, what to do and what not to do. And because sometimes the
Yes,
same lesson is explained in different ways for different classes, and especially if you have, multi-level classrooms, it would be
yes, yes.
really challenging. But all in all, some
Yeah,
lessons are
indeed.
a bit motivating. It would be, sometimes you feel so motivated and you feel so excited for the students to do the activities. But then you're all of a sudden, you feel so depressed when you're actually inside the classroom and the students are all silent and they are not responsive, though the lesson is so
So
nice and you have prepared a lot.
yeah, yeah. It happened to all of us, by the way. Exactly like what Salwa has said to us. Sometimes I prepare a lot, not only about the written work, but at the same time, I prepared a lot of games, a lot of videos, a lot of maybe tasks, very small tasks, just to encourage my students to get engaged in my lesson. The same thing happen whenever I go to different classes. Some classes are encouraging me to give them more. They are so they are so active, so creative students. Other students are so lazy and they need a lot of effort from the teacher to differentiate himself or herself in front of them, not to be the same all the time. Yes, hello.
Okay, we have Miss Dalia Sobhi. She said she has the same feelings. And Miss Marcel Fawzi, she said very boring and dull.
Yeah, just like all of us.
Okay.
So we have different components of any lesson plan. What are these components? For example, whenever someone, instructor or supervisor who is coming to check your lesson plan, he needs to see something in front of him. What are these things? We can mention just the topic. For example, we have the objectives.
Okay,
What else? The objectives
Azza,
of the
Azza wrote
unit, of the
objectives.
lesson.
Azza wrote
Yeah,
objectives
thank you, Ms. Azza.
and aids, the teaching aids.
Aids, of course, teaching aids.
Miss Dalia said interaction
Maybe
patterns. Excellent.
excellent, excellent. The procedures sometimes, like maybe the activities we include inside our lesson plan. Maybe they are different, as Miss Salwa has said already just a few minutes ago. Sometimes we have very active learners, so we need to include a lot of activities with them. Other learners are so lazy somehow, so it differs from a class to another.
Exactly. Miss Azza said the skills, the life skills, for example, and Miss Marcel said reviewing and previewing when it comes to, for example, teaching a novel or a reader.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Let's now try to move to the main part of our session. We try to talk about the main tool we try to use. I like using it so much. It's called Magic School. I think most of us are familiar with it. Whenever you use Magic School, it's a kind of AI tool. You can use different parts of it. The one which we are going to talk about is lesson plan, by the way. When we click on the lesson plan, we can ask or give some instructions, try to give a lot of details to the AI tool. For example, the level of the students. My students are in grade 4. They are level B1, for example, or they are A1 or A2, or they are advanced students. So I ask the AI to give me a clear lesson plan or a detailed lesson plan about, and I give him the topic of the lesson. Maybe the lesson would be, these are some different aids or tools inside the Magic School itself. So we can ask Magic School to give me some more details about, for example, a lesson plan on the how to teach these young learners the present simple tense or the simple present tense. At the same time, he can start with me from the very beginning. What are the objectives of the lesson? By the end of this lesson, students will be able to identify when they can use the present simple tense, the key vocabulary of using, for example, the present simple tense. And he can give me some more examples after the objectives. Then he can give me the aids, just like Miss Aza has said. Then he may give me some activities, some simple activities. If I don't like these or the way he gives me to the lesson plan, I can ask the chatbot. It's called Rina Hina. Yeah, Rina chatbot. I try to ask her some questions and she tries to answer me. Most of the time, I ask her to give me some more activities to include in my lesson. Let's move to another AI tool. It's called Twee. I like it so much. It helps me a lot, especially whenever I try to generate some different questions to my students. Sometimes I give them a free task. It's a kind of comprehension or reading text. I need the AI to generate a reading text of about 50 words, 60 words, 100 words, etc. It should be suitable for, and I give the AI some details about my learners. Maybe I need to include some vocabulary inside it, and after that I ask this tool to give me some questions. The questions may be true or false questions. The questions may be choose multiple choices questions, maybe open-ended questions, etc.
Samia, we have a
It
question
enables me,
from
by
Miss
the way.
Marcel, from Miss Marcel
Sure.
Fauzi asking, is it free?
Yeah, yeah. You can try it for free at the beginning. I tried it, it was for free. Later, whenever I see that he asks me for some money, frankly speaking, I try to use another account. So I try it again for free. But at the same time, some of these websites are for free for some time. Then he asks me to pay some money. I like the way he tries to may give me a kind of choice or a new different way of giving me questions. I like using YouTube videos. I can take a video from the YouTube, put it here using the AI powered tool, which is called Twee. And after that, I ask him to give me some questions on the video so that I try by using my smart board to let my student watch the video in order to answer these questions. I give them the questions, let them read them carefully, and I ask them, come on, you can answer the question during watching the video. And I give them enough time to try to answer these questions. Okay, let's move now to another platform, which is Saza. It's only for teachers. You can use it if you are a student as well, but as long as all of us are teachers. We can use it in different ways. And at the same time, it allows us to have different kinds of lesson plan because we are talking about it. It was the first time for me when I tried to use it to know that there are another taxonomy, not only Bloom taxonomy, which we all use in our educational system in Egypt, but we have other taxonomies, by the way. We can make a kind of lesson plan which is related to our timeline. Some schools ask the teacher to make a kind of preparation lesson, but it's according to the whole unit or according to the whole week, not daily one, according to the whole semester, the first semester, for example. Others are just for long term or medium term or daily, the one which we try to do each time. So this one is according to Bloom taxonomy, which we all use in our education system. We try to be careful about the level of the Bloom taxonomy. Of course, we can use ChatGPT and Gemini, and both of them are so popular among all of us. ChatGPT is free, and some version of ChatGPT is for money. Gemini, for example, I give you an example here. It's in our Connect for our schools. I give him some information about my learners. The level of them are, for example, B1. I need to use the comparative adjectives to try to give them enough information about how to use the comparative adjective to compare and contrast between camels and horses, for example. And if the adjectives I give the AI are long adjectives or short adjectives. That is the way we can see the lesson plan. It's part, of course, not the whole lesson plan. For example, it starts with learning objectives, what are the materials, and then he tries to mention some procedures, and I try to take a glimpse of all of what he is saying or telling me. And after that, it just aids me what I am going to do. I'm trying to generate my own lesson plan. Here, he gives me maybe the time. You can give an introduction for about 10 minutes. Maybe you have about 15 minutes to teach them how to use the comparative adjectives. And I like the way he gives me a lot of sentences, a lot of examples, how we can use beautiful, more beautiful, or less beautiful. Then, for example, you can compare the camel and the horse for about 20 minutes, and then he tries to give me an idea about the activity. Maybe it's a group activity, divide your class into small groups or maybe into pairs and ask them to compare and contrast between the horse and the camel. The same thing happened here when we are using ChatGPT. It looks like Gemini, by the way. I need a lesson plan for A2 learners, grade 4, on the Fennec Fox, for example. And we have already this lesson inside our curriculum, So the level, the grade, the duration, the objectives, he started with the objectives. Next, he gives me the materials, etc. And I like the way he gives me a lot of materials. For example, pictures of Fennec Fox. I can use the pictures in governmental schools. By the way, other people in maybe other schools who have projector can use other things which are more intelligent or make things easier for us. Short reading text about the Fennec Fox, we can use it. It's inside our textbook, etc. Is that clear? Do you have any question? So far, so good.
Yes, we have a question here, Samya.
Yes.
Miss Marcella again asking, can I upload a PDF file in this site?
I'm sorry, can I load?
Upload a PDF file in this site?
Some sites allows us to upload some PDFs. Other sites don't allow us to upload PDF. But I think most of
I
these
think
sites allow us
yeah,
to upload PDF.
most of
Yeah,
them
most
don't
of them.
allow it due to copyrights.
Some yes, some no. But if you take it just as a photo, the text as a photo, or to write it and try to give it as some information to the AI, it's okay. But not all the websites allow us to upload the PDF.
Azza responded,
Okay.
Gemini accept images,
Yes,
as you have just
I
mentioned, yes.
yeah. I try to take a picture or a photo and to upload it to Gemini or ChatGPT or even to Bo, and they accept it, by the way. But I didn't try to use PDF. Some of them allow us to use attachment. Maybe the attachment as a PDF, I didn't try it before, but I think some of them accept. We have different kinds of AI, by the way. This site I like so much. It's called Bo. I think most of us are familiar with it, by the way. That's why I try to put them in sequence from the most ones we like most of the time or use most of the time. It's the same thing, just like Gemini and ChatGPT. You can give Bo some instructions or some details about the topic you want the AI to help you deal with. For example, I tried here to make a comparison between using past continuance and past simple. How can I try to give a lesson in a very creative way to my students, maybe to make things easier for them, especially for teaching grammar? The introduction, he gives me a glimpse about the introduction or some sentence about the introduction. How can I introduce the difference to my students? After that, he can explain some more examples to me. Then he can give me some more activities about the practice or how to make this kind of evaluation at the end. And sometimes whenever I try to, I feel I am puzzled or it's not clear for me, I try to ask him to give me some rubrics, either for ChatGPT, Gemini, or even Bo. All of them can help me to, if I give the students these questions, what about the rubric? It can help me to generate the rubric, which is very useful for me, by the way. This is how Bo looks like. So it has different tools in front of you, and you can try all of them, of course. Lesson plan here help me to make a kind or generate a kind of lesson plan to maybe make a kind of comparison between simple past and past continuance. Then we have another website, which is called TeachMeate.ai. I like the idea of using TeachMeate, by the way. It gives me a lot of lesson ideas, a lot of questions, a lot of activities. It gives me a lot of resources, by the way, either you are a student or a teacher. So if you need a lot of free resources, you can go there and use it. I use my own Google account, Gmail, and I log in using it. Then I can ask, for example, for a slideshow, like you have a presentation for your students about any topic or about the lesson for today, ecotourism, like in secondary one, and you ask the AI to generate this kind of slideshow for you to make things easier for your students. It can help me a lot. So do we have any comments?
Have a question from Miss Abir Gamal. She's asking about the best ChatGPT or any website for translation. Could
For
you
translation?
Google Translate is okay, I think. And I think ChatGPT can
ChatGPT,
translate a text. You
yes,
just have to specify the question. Make a specific
yes,
question about
yes.
what you
You
need,
have to give,
and you will get it.
yes.
Exactly.
And you have to give, yeah, exactly like just Miss Salwa said, you have to give a lot of details to Gemini or ChatGPT in order to get the best translation. So is that clear about TeachMeate?
Yep.
Let's now move to another website. It's called Defit. Defit is a great website, especially for resources or worksheets. Whenever you need a lot of worksheets for your students, and they are creative, they are different than the extra books like المعاصر, bit by bit, you need other things or different kinds of worksheets. It can give me a lot of different ideas, especially whenever he asks me for more details. For example, it's called here, that's why I'm talking about text or PDF, for example. If you need it to be text or PDF, you need it, which one of them? The article you are going to attach. Maybe I can write an article and attach it to it, or to attach the link of a YouTube video, and he is this site, the Defit website, tries to help me as much as possible. Another idea, I can enter the topic or the question in the box, and I ask him if it is suitable for my students who are B2, for example, the level for them, and they are grade 5, grade 7, grade 10. And I can ask him to give me the resource as a kind of slideshow, as a kind of text, as a kind of PDF, etc. All right, is that clear?
Ms. Sabir,
Okay.
once again, Google doesn't understand idioms and slangs. Okay, for supporting students at year 7, any reading recommendations?
Yeah, I have already prepared something for reading comprehension here in my presentation. It's coming.
Okay.
Just wait for me for 2 or 3 minutes. Thank you. Now let's move to other people who like presentation, especially PowerPoint presentation. We can use other websites for helping us to make a kind of presentation like SlideGo, for example. We can go there using our Google or Gmail, as we have already mentioned. You can write whatever you want, for example, education, as you see exactly, and you ask if you need a PowerPoint presentation about which topic of education, then you can download some of these templates. Some of them are for free, others are for money. So you can download some of them. You can use some of them for Google Classroom, as you have already seen, or you can share it to one of the websites, like, for example, WhatsApp. You have a group for your students, and you can share this template with them, etc. I think it's more or less just like Canvas, if you like to use it. Okay, let's move to have another one. It's so different for us to use Brisk Teaching, because it changes the videos into slides. So something creative, I can copy the link from YouTube, for example. After that, I can ask the link to change this video into some slides. So he can make me a kind of slideshow or PowerPoint presentation according to the source, which is the video I have already uploaded to the website. This one is the one I was talking about. ReadWorks, I like it so much, and I have already used it a lot for teaching reading to my students in the secondary stage, but it's not only for learners in the secondary stage. You can find a lot of sources there. By the way, I use it, I log in using my Gmail. I try to ask him, I stand here on my tools, and I try to ask for more reading texts. In front of you, you have different kinds of reading texts. Maybe the topic is so different. So we have about geography, social studies, culture, family life, school life, solving problems. You can have some kind of puzzles, different kinds of stories. And you are the one who can go there and read. You can just click on Peer and Berry Wisdom, for example. You can go there, read the whole text. Then you can ask the AI or the ReadWorks to give you some more questions, open-ended questions, WH question. I mean, you can ask for true or false questions. You can ask for fill in the gaps questions, critical thinking questions, etc. So you can choose whatever questions you need from the AI, then you can elaborate them and or classify them according to the level of your students. And at the same time, all of these reading texts are divided according to the grade of the students and according to the level. So maybe the grade is so high, they are in grade 10, for example, but still their level of English is still A2. Maybe, why not? So you are the admin of all the operation. You can do whatever you want, and you can go there, read any topic you like, and try copy and paste it in another Word page on your computer or your laptop. And then you ask the AI to generate some questions for you, and you can copy and paste them. I hope I have already answered the question you need, Miss Abir, I think, or
Yes.
Miss
Thank you,
Musa.
Samya.
Yeah,
Okay, just before
thank
you
you.
continue, we have like 5 minutes in this session. So if it ends, just click again on the same link and go back. You'll get back to the second session. Abir is
Okay,
saying thank
okay.
you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. You are most welcome. Let's now try to move to another website. It's called summarize.tech. This kind of website allows me as a teacher to summarize a very long video for my students. Suppose we have a very long video, YouTube video, and I need to make it very simple or to summarize it in 1 or 2 sentences to my students. How can I do it in a very quickly way? We are all teachers, we don't have enough time, and we try to use a lot of tools to engage our students in our lesson. If I have a kind of long video and I try to summarize it as much as possible, I can play the video using the smartboard, maybe, but at the end, I ask my students, what did you get from the video? I can check their understanding, and at the end, I can give them a summary. For example, I like this video very much. It's about how to introduce yourself, especially when you are in an interview or you are applying for a new job. Some people can ask you some questions. What are these questions? This video is about 16 minutes. I don't have enough time to play all the video. Maybe I play just a small part of it, or I can summarize it, play just a small part, summarize the rest of the video, and ask my students to continue watching it at home. And at the same time, to be sure that my students can watch the video, I can give them 2 or 3 questions, and the answers of these questions are inside the video itself. So it's, for example, a summary of self-introduction, how to introduce yourself in English, tell me about yourself. These are some of the interview answer. The video provides me about so and so and so. So it summarizes it for me. If I am puzzled or I got lost, or I feel I have already lost some information or forgot some details about the different videos I have had in my laptop, so he can help me quickly to give me clear information about it. We have another website which is called Buzzle. Is there any questions? All right. Using this website helps me a lot to play a video. Maybe I stop the video at some points and I try to give my students some questions about the video. So it helps me a lot if I add the video inside my lesson plan. Then we have Youglish, U-English or Youglish. It helps me a lot in teaching my students the pronunciation or the clear pronunciation or correct pronunciation of English. It's one of the most obvious websites all around the world, and a lot of children like using it, a lot of students. I can go there